Hello, my name's Andy. Welcome to episode 19 of Keeping Water. In this week's episode, the fish focus will be on my largest and oldest tench. I'll reveal what I'm naming the common carp. I'll look at Christmas ideas for pond keeping YouTubers. And in the weekly update, I'll be having a quick look at temperatures, leaves again, and talk a little bit about other visitors to the pond. Again, this week, I'd like to thank subscribers to the channel, new and old. I've had, for me, quite a lot of new ones this week, which is great. If you're not subscribed, please consider doing so, and if you've liked the video, please give me a thumbs up. If there's anything in particular you'd like to see more or less of, please let me know in the comment section below, along with anything else you'd like to chat about. Right, let's get started. This is my oldest and largest tench. She's also the fish I've had the longest, having bought her about 4 years ago. Tench are a member of the cyprinid family and are found throughout Western Europe and even into parts of Asia. They are mostly found in still waters with clay or muddy substrate and lots of vegetation, and can survive in low oxygen levels. Tench are usually an olive green colour with small red eyes and rounded fins. They can live up to 30 years. I stocked this tench in 2016 in what was the first version of my pond, when she was about 6 inches long and quite skinny. Initially she was very nervous and I didn't see her at all for a few weeks, and when she started coming out more she was still quite skittish. However, she soon settled in and would confidently swim around the pond, trying and often succeeding to get to food before the faster rudd and larger carp did. She also became more tolerant of the GoPro and was quickly developing size as well as confidence. However, in 2018, as you may have seen in my earlier videos, the cold winter was catastrophic for my pond and I lost many fish. The tench, however, was the largest fish to survive and stayed in a plastic pond in the garage while I rebuilt the pond. Since this time, the tench has continued to grow, and in spite of the new larger carp joining her, she gets her fair share of the larger pellets, even feeding regularly from the surface. She continues to grow steadily, from 6 inches in 2016 to 10 inches long in 2017, 16 in 2018 and this year nearly 18 inches. Unlike the other smaller fish, including the common carp, she holds her own with Mira, the mirror carp, and doesn't always defer to her. Occasionally, Mira's size wins out, but without anthropomorphising too much, I feel the tench thinks the pond is hers. Again, I've not yet named her, and once again will welcome any and all suggestions, so please leave any you have in the comment section below. In last week's Fish Focused, I asked for suggestions for the carp's name. Thank you very much for all your ideas. In the end, I chose one from a family member, which means the common is now called Coira. I like it as it obviously contains a koi sound. It's a female Scottish name which means seething pool, so it's a nice fit for her. I think in previous episodes, especially episode 6 about feeding, Coira has really given the impression that she barely feeds, especially in comparison to Mira. Therefore, I've had a search through my unedited videos to find examples of her actually eating. Although they were significantly outnumbered by ones of Mira, pigging away as normal, what follows is a montage of Coira actually taking food, just to prove that she does. Many YouTubers are doing videos about Christmas present ideas for pond keepers at the moment, and they're full of great ideas for adding to ponds and the hobby in general. My list is going to be slightly different, as I'm going to focus more on ideas to help making videos in and around a pond easier and more interesting. I'm going to suggest some things I'd like, some things I have, and some things I think might be interesting to others. The primary area I'm going to look at is underwater filming, which is obviously something I like to do a lot and makes up most of my videos. I use an old GoPro 3, which unlike newer models isn't waterproof without an additional case, and it only films in 1080p, but I think it gives me some good results. Now, I'm not sure that everyone can ask Santa for a new GoPro, but second-hand ones like mine are more reasonably priced, with an accessories kit and waterproof case both quite cheap too. Positioning the GoPro in a pond is quite tricky. A waterproof selfie stick helps, as does some homemade bases like mine. Before moving on from GoPros, another accessory I haven't got but I think would be excellent for filming pondfish is an underwater dome. These allow you to film both above and below the water at the same time, which would be perfect for filming fish feeding on the surface and more general B-roll types of shots of the fish and their environment. They come in prices between £20 to £60. The more expensive ones also have macro features for close-ups of smaller water life and a red lens for more natural underwater images. They're not compatible for all GoPros, so it's important to check out that they're right for your camera. A lot of the filming I do involves placing the camera and leaving it for an extended period to allow the fish to be comfortable around it, and therefore behave reasonably naturally. What becomes more important with this type of approach is the memory card's capacity. Again, lots of options from 32GB, which at 1080p filming will give you about 2.5 hours, to a whole terabyte, which, while also ridiculously expensive, would probably be still quite empty at the point your battery ran out. Finally, a really helpful accessory would be some kind of lighting, to enhance dull daytime shots or those dark areas of your pond, or for nighttime filming. There's some quite reasonably priced options for this, maybe not quite stocking filler prices, but okay if Santa's feeling kind. Of course, not everyone has or wants a GoPro to use for the pond related YouTube videos, but most people have a phone, and it's possible to use a lot of models underwater with the right equipment. Again, options range from the cheap, a few quid, to the more expensive, and what you choose is obviously determined a lot by budget, but also by how confident you are putting your very expensive phone in it and then obviously into the water. I've not used them myself, so can't recommend one in particular. Most can be used with a selfie stick of some kind to aid positioning. Again, make sure it's waterproof. Anyway, that's my suggestions for Christmas. Filming's a subject I could talk about for a while longer. There are quite a few more options I could cover, including CCTV or trail cameras for capturing other wildlife in and around the pond, as well as software and storage options. Maybe in 2021. There's been quite a few cold mornings over the last week, with a couple of frosts overnight as well. The leaves that I cleared up from the garden have pretty much been replaced by new ones, although the good news is that there are not a lot left to fall. I'll maybe just do one more big clear up when they've all dropped. The light frost has collected on most of the structures in the garden, including the pond netting, which does help keep it off, and the leaves, from the pond itself. As for temperatures, the cold has obviously had an effect. This morning at about 10 o'clock, as you can see, the air temp was 2 degrees, with the pond having dropped to 8. Quite chilly, and I won't feed today, which has been the case for most of this week. It's at this time of year that I seem to find more and more frogs in my pond, and they especially appear to like to hide in the skimmer box. I'd planned to film some this week, but of course they've all avoided the camera. I'm not a big fan of frogs, and over the life of the pond I've had up to 12 in the pond at any one time, as well as frogs spawn every year. I guess that there's always actually more than I find, as they're experts in hiding amongst the plants and folds in the pond liner. I don't think I'm ever really going to stop frogs getting in the pond, and I can only really keep numbers down as I find them. Fortunately, I have a stream not far from my garden, and any frogs or their spawn that I find are rehomed there. Any tips for dissuading frogs would be gratefully received, but I doubt there's a robust solution. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Keeping Water. I really do appreciate it. If you've enjoyed it, there's a growing library of other videos on the channel, and I'll continue to release weekly episodes throughout winter. I'd really appreciate you clicking on the like button, subscribing, and also feel free to share this video to others. Please also leave any comments. I'll try my best to reply to them all. Next week's video's main topic is somewhat dependent on December postal speeds, but there'll definitely be another fish focus, this time on the rudd, and another weekly update. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.